Ahoy, matey! This is Captain Mark Action Stevenson coming at you once again. Oh my goodness, it's boat season. That's absolutely right. I'm so glad that you're here to join us today. We are going to be telling you what it's like to be a boater, a bird's eye view from the Wheelhouse, and that's the name of our show. Let me get ready to give you some good information. I want you to grab an ink pen, and I want you to make sure that you're ready to take down some of this great information that we're going to give you, because I'm going to give it away today. I really am. I got to get this life vest off. Oh man, it just started raining today, and it was a little bit chilly out there, but we do what we have to do as boat captains. But you don't have to deal with all of that, because you're not a boat captain yet, but you will be one day. Do you have to do it for a living or do it commercially? No, you don't. And we're going to open the doors for you. Our goal today is to tell you that Dream Catchers Incorporated has underwritten us and brought us to you. Dream Catchers is a community development corporation, and they reach out to help all types of people, even boaters. We want to make sure that we bring the Chicagoland community, in fact, all of the Illinois community, to come on beautiful Lake Michigan. Why? Because there are so many things that you can do besides standing on the beach. You'll never know what's in the deep blue sea if you keep your behind on the beach. You need to come out for sure, and come out and enjoy some of this boat life with us. It's not for rich people. A lot of people says, oh, that's for that yachting thing is for the rich folks. Well, I'm going to talk to you today about the ways that you can get out on the water also for very economical pricings, and to get out there for free. That's for sure. We have a lot of things that we're going to share with you.
Let's begin with Dusable Harbor, which is accessed by way of Monroe Harbor. Dusable Harbor is named for our first permanent resident, fur trader John.
Up, and I didn't mean to cue that up. I'm sorry. We'll come back to that. I want to first talk to you about the Chicago Harbor Safety Committee. Now, the Chicago Harbor Safety Committee, I wonder who founded that. It doesn't matter. For sure. We learned that wonderful things can happen when nobody cares who gets the credit. That's for sure. So the Chicago Harbor Safety Committee was formed to make the waterways here in Chicagoland safer. And I'm going to share some information with you. You can go to the Chicago Harbor Safety Committee by looking up chicagoharborsafety.org. You can Google Chicago Harbor Safety Committee, and you can find out much more than I can give you in this quick 27-minute show. But I want you to know this. The Chicago Harbor Safety Committee has developed a test, a safe boaters test. Now, this test is something that anybody can take. Please visit their site, watch the video, and you'll find out some things about our beautiful lakeshore that you probably didn't even dream of. And they'll tell you how to remain safe on this. How do you get on this water? Well, we'll still come to that in just a second, but I want you to take this test, and I want you to get certified as a safe boater. If you're thinking about coming out on the lake, there are many other ways that you can get some safety training. You can go to the Coast Guard Auxiliary, go to their website. The United States Coast Guard Auxiliary teaches for free. Did he say free? Yes, he did. You can learn how to be the safest boater possible. The safest boater that you can be starts with a boating safety course. The Chicago Park District also, that's where I started. I took a class. Once I wanted to become professional, I knew I had to go back, even though I had been doing this as a child.
It has
for sure.
420 boat slips, a harbor store,
Even though I knew I had done this as a child for sure I needed to go back. I needed to go back and do some things. And one of those things was taking a safety course. The Chicago Park District offered that along with the Coast Guard Auxiliary at that time. There's several different yacht clubs, and we'll talk about those as well. Those yacht clubs, everybody has a safety program. Everyone wants you to come out to the lake. How many people do you know who has never been on a boat? Have you been on a boat? Well, I want you to call me and realize this. This is a live call-in interactive television show. The number's right there at the bottom. You'll see right under Dream Catchers, 312-738-1060. Now, if you're talking to your TV, I can't hear you. So you have to get your lazy behind off, that's what I said, get your lazy behind off the couch and call me and ask a question about becoming a boater. Did you know that if you were born after January the 1st, 1998, that you're required to take a boater safety course from the state of Illinois? Now, we had been arguing the point for many, many years that there should be some type of certification. Did you know that in the state of Illinois, you are not required to have a license like you can drive a car? What did he say? That's right. You don't even have to have a license. Do you know there are people out here that are so rich they can give their 15-year-old kid a 50-foot yacht? That's right. And they can drive the boat. But today we have something in place, at least, that you have to take the Safe Boaters course for the state of Illinois so that you have some level of training. We hope that one day that the state legislature will come together and realize that you need to have a license to drive a boat, just like you need a license to drive a car. That's right around the corner, though. But for right now, no, it doesn't require a license to drive a boat. Did you know what most accidents happen? Most accidents happen. Why? Drugs, alcohol. They say it's okay to drink on a boat, but if you're operating a boat and you're the captain of the day and you have your friends and your family on board, you should make sure you're not one of the people that are partaking in the party and enjoying some of the libations. You got to make sure that your boat is always free of drugs. Do you know, people say, well, wait a minute. In the state of Illinois, isn't marijuana legal? Yes, it is. However, on the waterways, those are federal waters. And on federal waters, you are not allowed to have marijuana. You're not allowed to have any type of drugs. The federal laws overrule state and local laws. So you better make sure you know what you're doing if you're thinking you're going to come out on the lake and have a few tokes. You can't do it. That's a no-no. But if you're operating a boat and you're the captain of the day, I want you to have a clear mind, because if something happens, I want you to make darn sure that your mind is so clear that you can help people. Now, the Harbor Safety Committee has come up with a video, and this video, it's a 30-minute video, but I queued up a section here of beautiful, beautiful a harbor called Dusable Harbor. It was named after John Baptiste Dusable, who is the founder of Chicago. He used to have a fur trading company there. We want to make sure that you are able to see this. Are we okay in the control room? Okay, here we go, and let's go to the web PC. Take a look at this.
And pump out. Monroe Harbor is named for our 5th president, James Monroe, and provides 1,000 mooring cans, tender service, and easy access to the city. It is the home of the Chicago Yacht Club and the Columbia Yacht Club. The best place to pick up guests from land is the pump-out dock at the north end of Monroe Harbor, between the Chicago and Columbia Yacht Clubs. Chicago Yacht Club docks are for members and registered guests only. There is a touch and go south of the yacht club, but it can be difficult even in good weather. At the south end of Monroe Harbor, there is an opening in the breakwall allowing passage to the lake. This opening is shallow, narrow, and has jagged rocks on both sides that are not visible at water level. There are no aids or lights, and there is frequent commercial traffic. The main opening in the center of the harbor is a smarter choice. Just south of the planetarium is the little-known and nearly invisible submerged wall that has hijacked many an anchor and crushed more than a few hulls.
Now, this is just an eye-opener. Again, you can see this video in its entirety by going to the Chicago Harbor Safety Committee website. That's at chicagoharborsafety.org, and click on the tab that says video. You'll learn so much about that. But there's a part that I want to really dial it in on here. And I'm going to go to Google Maps here. Let's see how proficient Captain Mark is doing this. Let's see. Here is Google Maps. If you go to Google Maps, and I have in the center of the screen there, Navy Pier. Let me blow that up a little bit for you. On this screen, you see, Navy Pier here where my cursor is moving around, and then the water purification plant right behind it. Most people don't see that because it's not accessible to the public. However, I want you to know that this opening here is the opening to the Great Chicago River. But what is this wall that is around Navy Pier? We call it an outer break wall. Now, folks, one thing for sure about this outer break wall, you have a light here, the Chicago Lighthouse. Isn't that beautiful? The Chicago Lighthouse is right there for you to be able to see your way into the mouth of the river, even if you're miles and miles out on the lake. The lighthouse will guide you into the river. Now, this opening will tell you if you go right into that opening, you'll go into this area here. This is called the Chicago Locks. And the Chicago Locks, I want you to know, the Chicago Locks was designed as a miracle, part of a miracle that happened when someone, the Army Corps of Engineers, that's the someone I'm talking about, they reversed the flow of the Chicago River. It used to flow into the lake. All of the pollution that you see used to come from the buildings all in Chicagoland would all flow into the lake and pollute it. But they found a way at the Continental Divide to do some digging and essentially pulled the plug on the river and made it reverse. Now all the water goes into the Chicago River, flowing down to the Illinois River, south on to the Mississippi River, all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. If I followed this river, I can go all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Are you serious, Captain Mark? Well, yes, Captain Mark is very serious, and I'll tell you why. Did you know that you can get to anywhere in the world from Chicago? It's not only the crossroads of the nation, because of the amount of trains and amount of roads that are here. But it was initially the crossroads of the nation because the waterways was the highway. Those were the highways for America to move all types of cargo across this nation. So if I went out of Lake Michigan through the Chicago River, I want you to see this. Here's a map of Lake Michigan. Did you know I could go through 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, work my way all the way through Canada, all the way to the St. Lawrence Seaway, to the Hudson River, which would take me all the way to New York City. That's what I said. I did a trip, it took me 18 days. I'd love to take you with me on a trip like that. But once I'm in New York City, I'm in the Atlantic Ocean. And the Atlantic Ocean, I can get to anywhere in the world from there. However, what if I wanted to go down the Mississippi River? This is the beauty of being in Chicago. I can go down the Mississippi River all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Look at that beautiful river. Oh my goodness. I can go to the Gulf of Mexico and I can get to other places. So there's something called the Great Circle, and we're going to have a show on this great loop that starts in Chicago, goes down the Mississippi to Louisiana, gets out through the Gulf of Mexico, around the tip of Florida, and goes up the eastern seaboard, back through New York City, through 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, back to Chicago. It usually takes a whole year to do that, and most people that do this trip do it in segments. So don't think that you have to do it in segments. I just wanted you to know the beauty of what you have right here in Chicago. That's for sure. Now, I also wanted you to know, while we talked about the locks in the river, I want you to get off your behinds and go downtown to the beautiful Riverwalk. Do you know they're still building the Riverwalk along the Chicago River? And it's going to extend all the way past Chinatown. They're working on it right now. Every time I go there, I see them building something new along the riverways of Chicago. This is something that is going to be accessible to everyone. And right now, the Riverwalk is accessible to you. Make sure that you are out there doing that. Now, we're going to switch tracks for a second, because I just wanted you to know about that. But many of you are saying, wow, this is for rich people, and these doors are not open to me. I remember I taught at Phillips High School many years ago. And I asked my class, now Phillips High School is on 39th Street, 5 minutes from the lake. And I asked my class, I was teaching biology at the time, and they answered me when I asked them this question. How many of you have been to the lake front? Only 2 hands went up. How many of you have been downtown Chicago? Only 2 hands out of the whole class of 30 students. Now, I had to ask why. Many of the students at Phillip High School, they were afraid to travel outside of their community. Folks, do not be afraid to travel outside of your community. The lake belongs to all of us. And some people call Captain Mark Stevenson the voice of Lake Michigan. And I'm going to tell you, I want to be your voice as well. The doors are open. How do you get into it? Well, here's one way. Go online and do a shared leasing program. Shared leasing programs allow you to lease a boat. You can share it with 10 other people or 5 other people. Everybody gets the same amount of weekends and holidays, and you can do away with paying for having to pay for a dock or upkeep and repairs and all that. You pay one price to do this. And there's many shared leasing programs online. I can't refer you to one. I can only tell you, go online and look for yourself. Shared leasing can be done by anyone. And the best part about it, you have captains that are professional who train you how to drive the boats. Now, we have a caller. We have a caller online right now. Welcome to today's show from the Wheelhouse.
Yes, Mark. Good evening.
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
A wonderful job. I just could wish more people, especially with color, to see you, hear you talk, and took the pictures of the water, Lake Michigan. Like you say, some people have no idea what's out there. But listen, Mark, you're doing a good job, man. Keep up the good work. Hope more people start looking at you more and see what you're doing. Maybe more people come in. Thank you. Taking the call.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it very much. You are absolutely right. The doors are open, and people don't appreciate what they don't know about. So you just criticize. Some people will criticize things that they don't understand. All you have to do is open up your mind, open up your heart, and understand this. You belong on the water also. Now, I'm going to address it as I know it, because the fact is, what's the real truth? There's your truth, there's my truth, and then there's the real truth. So I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the real truth. We are no longer the cargo. What do I mean by that? Well, African Americans, of course, were brought here to the United States on ships, but we are no longer the cargo. We are today's engineers, captains. We are today's fiberglass repairmen. We are the guys that put in sound systems. We're the guys that polish boats. We're the guys that do it all. Do you know that there are over 300 different job categories? I preach this all the time. 300 different job categories that you can be involved in the maritime industry, in the maritime profession. I want to tell you, the doors are open. If you'd like to find out more about it, here, grab your pen. I'm going to give you my direct number, and I expect for you to call me and ask me the questions. I make sure I answer all of my emails, and I answer all of my phone calls. I promise my phone will never be blocked up with a bunch of calls. I clear them out as quick as I can. My telephone number is 312-437-2230. That's 312-437-2230. And my email address is boatmaster, that's boatmaster1653 at Gmail. Boatmaster1653 at Gmail. If you have some questions and you just don't want to call in for whatever reason, you can make sure that I'll make sure that I answer your questions for you, because you're very important to me. Now, back to how you can get on the water in the last few minutes that we have. You can also, after going through the websites and finding out what it will cost you to do a shared leasing program on a boat, you can also rent a boat for one day. What if you just want to go out with your family and friends for one day? Well, you can rent a boat. You can go out with 12 people on the boat, plus the captain and one crew. No matter what the size is, the rule is that you cannot have more than 12 people on a boat. They call them bareboat charters. I call them bareboat rentals. And you can look that up online also. Chicago Rental Boats. And you will find a plethora of companies that can take care of you. Make sure that they are licensed properly. Make sure that the captains are licensed properly as well. All you have to do is ask for their credentials before you pay your money. That's for sure. Renting a boat is, yes, another option. You can buy a boat, but you don't know anything about a boat. What are you going to do? You better find a professional broker. A professional broker will open some doors for you, but you have to also have a professional surveyor. Professional surveyors will be able to tell you what's wrong with the boat from your point of view. They work for the buyer. They don't work for the seller. Just like someone that is inspecting a house that you might want to buy. You better hire somebody that's impartial so you can buy a boat. Make sure you're dealing with professional brokers when you do this. You can also go to Navy Pier and just get on a boat. These tour boats are fine. You can pay as little as $30 and take yourself a boat ride. I always say, though, if you want a boat ride, go to Navy Pier. If you want an experience, you need to see Captain Mark or somebody like me. Sailing lessons, they're available at all of the yacht clubs. Every harbor except for 31st Street Harbor has its own yacht club. All you have to do is go online, take a look at Chicago yacht clubs, and give them a call. Take a look at their website, see what type of sailing programs. You know, that kids as little as 5 years old. That's what I said. I don't know if I could have my children or grandchildren out on a sailboat. I've seen some tiny little kids out there sailing these little bitty sailboats, but they're under the supervision of professionals. But still, it looks scary to me. But at the same time, I don't get reports that any of them have drowned. They have all types of precautions. But I have noticed this. Many of these youngsters sail better than these adults, because they don't have fear and they have some natural ability. Maybe they're still connected to the water that they were in when they were in their mother's tummy. I don't know, but they're good at what they do. The last thing that I want to tell you about is the human-powered vessels. These are canoes and kayaks. You can go along the Chicago River. You can go in some of the harbors, like 31st Street Harbor. There are other harbors as well that have canoes and kayaks that are for rent. You don't have any reason not to get on the water. I just want to thank you for joining us today. I can talk about this for the rest of my life until my voice is gone. I want to see you out on the water. You get off of your tail and make sure that you get on beautiful Chicago's lakefront, get down to the Chicago River, and trust me, if you have any problems at all, you can contact Captain Mark again at 312-437-2230. I'll answer all of your questions on how you can find all of these different companies online, and you make your own choice at what you think that you want to do on the water. Until next week, and we're here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Until next week, folks, I'll see you then. Mama, I need you to get the coffee ready because the kid, he's on his way.